Hey, it's Tuesday at 2 here with Circle B Diecast in Concord, North Carolina. So glad that you joined us here on all of our social channels, including our friends on TikTok, which are on a little different feed down here. We're getting things all situated. We've got a brand new studio, which is our old studio, which is a new studio, which is our old studio, which is our new studio. So it is really, really good. So we're having a great time, and we are glad you joined us. Okay, now, credit cards and debit cards, you're going to get a little breather because Jonathan is not doing his show today. Okay. So Jonathan is, well, I'll tell you the truth. I'm just going to tell you the truth because I it's kind of how I am. They put the old boy out in the warehouse. It's July. It's North Carolina. It's a warehouse with no air conditioning. Tracy back there, our shipping guru, she cracked the whip on him. And he was like a puddle of sweat when we rolled in. So we are giving your credit cards and your debit cards the day off, and you're stuck with me just talking racing. So it's going to be awesome. We are so glad you joined us. But Jonathan, you can follow all our social channels. Jonathan will be back with Diecast Deals after he gets rehydrated after working out in the warehouse. It's good. It's good. Good to do a little manual labor every once in a while, that's for sure. We are glad you joined us. Let's see, Victor is on here. Matthew is on here as well. And it is going to be good. It is going to be good. Yes, Victor, I understand that. I've already been told. Yes, Secret Service has been called because they all said Victor's going to be here rolling in with his motorcade of limos. So Victor will be at Pocono. And that is all that matters right there. Grandstands are sold. I don't think grandstands are sold out. All of the suites, everything else are sold out. And they all knew that Victor was going to be there and all want to get a little peek at our main man as he rolls in there with his VIP experience. So we are glad you joined us. All right, let's talk a little NASCAR racing. What did you think of New Hampshire? How about Christopher Bell? Yeah, C. Bell picking up the win. We've got that race-winning diecast available at circlebdiecast.com. Christopher, one of our guys. We love Christopher Bell around this joint. And so Christopher Bell picks up the win and brings us to 14 winners, brings us to murkiness, brings us to chaos. For some drivers, gloom, despair, and agony because now they've got a win to get in. And it is crazy. You do the math and you think about this and you're like, well, I can see us getting to 16 or 17 or 15. But we're actually seeing it, and when you look, we've got Ryan Blaney who would still get in on points. We've got Martin Truex Jr. who would still get in on points. Kevin Harvick now falls into the must-win category, at least where he's at with points. He could pass Truex in the point standings. I'm not sure I expected to see Harvick in the must-win to move on category in this. And then when you just look at other drivers that have performed so well with the tracks we have coming up. We have Pocono coming up. Bubba Wallace had a top 5 finish at Pocono. He's coming off a top 5 finish in New Hampshire. Does Bubba get a win? That totally upsets the apple cart. Then we go road course racing. There's a couple of drivers, a McDowell type person, guy like that. Okay, so we've got that coming up. And then we put a big old hairy bow around the regular season with Daytona. Man, oh man, folks, we're living right. We are living right here in NASCAR land with this stuff. It's getting wild, that's for sure. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens with it. It's going to be fun, that's for sure. And we head to the tricky triangle. It's the Victor 400. Well, no, it's not the Victor 400. But that's what everyone's going to be talking about. Drivers going to be running around trying to get Victor's autograph. It's going to be crazy out there. But we are excited about Pocono. I love Pocono. If you know me, if you follow along, that's my home track. First track that ever allowed me to volunteer to work. And yes, I stated that properly. I volunteered to work at Pocono, the first track. So it is good, and we are glad. We're glad that everything is good at Pocono. Brooklyn checking in on TikTok. Good to see you, Brooklyn. We're glad our Brooklyn finest checking in. Jonathan wants to know, what did I think of Berlin? Oh my gosh, Jonathan, a few weeks ago, I went up to Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. Now, I got rained out, but I thought it was a spectacular racetrack. And I know this past weekend they had the super modifieds up there, and it was wall-to-wall people. There are some short tracks that are doing really, really well in the country, and Berlin Raceway seems to be one of them. and I'm really, really happy. My buddy Jeff Striegel is the general manager up there, and it sounds like they're having a good time. And Jonathan, you have got a really, really good home track. So go support your home track. I'll take this opportunity to tell you, and to beg you and to plead with you to go to support your home track, because on Saturday night I went to my original home track to say goodbye, because that track, 5 Mile Point Speedway, is going away at the end of this year. So y'all need to go support your home tracks. Make sure you do that. Get out and support your local racetrack. So, Jonathan, I know you do, and I appreciate that. And I love your home track. That is for sure. Great stuff. Great stuff as far as that goes. So, Pocono Raceway this week, going to be a big weekend. Motor Racing Network, we kick it off with the ARCA Menard Series on Friday night. Then on Saturday, triple header coverage. We have the Truck Series early in the day. We have qualifying and practice and qualifying in the middle of the day. And then the NASCAR Xfinity Series, the Justin Allgaier Series, if you will, as we roll through the afternoon into the evening. And then on Sunday, it's the Cup Series, the big boys, and it is going to be great. So love it. Love what's going on at Pocono. My original home track. Cannot wait to get back up there and see what's going on at the Tricky Triangle. It's easy for me to say and to think. I talk for a living. How about that? So it is going to be fun, and we'll see what happens. In this Cup side, we'll see who gets things all mixed up. So a little quiet over here. Little quiet over here with the conversation. We got Victor and Matthew checking in. Matthew went to Eldora, so he's all boasting and chest all puffed out about going to Eldora, and Victor's all twisted up about Pocono. So, but anyone else thoughts on New Hampshire? Thoughts on the playoffs? Okay, we'll roll along. We can continue on with that conversation. Coming up later today, the announcement that we're street racing at Chicago. Wild, love it. I'm the longer I go in this business, the more I want to see us get wackier than crap. You know, I mean, I'm fine with it all. Okay, I think that it's going to be interesting. I don't like that apparently, and this has not been announced yet. Apparently, we're looking at July 4th weekend, and that does not bode well for Road America. I love Road America, and I will be saddened if that indeed goes away. Maybe they'll figure a way. Maybe that's not July 4th weekend for Chicago. So we'll just have to see. But stay tuned. We'll have to see what happens with it. You know, and I'm wondering if we get to a phase with NASCAR where nothing lasts forever. You know, I wonder if we get to the phase where Road America comes on for a few years and then goes away and then comes on for a few more years. And we do the Coliseum for a couple of years, and then we go move to something else, and we go back to the Coliseum. And we go do a street race in Chicago for a few years, and we move on. And, you know, I don't know. Jonathan says we need to rotate tracks. I don't know, Jonathan. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's a bad idea. I mean, I think we have our mainstays, you know, the Daytona 500, the Coke 600, the Southern 500, you know, but does a track have 2 races one year and 1 race next year and back to 2 races? I don't know. I think because I think we need to make sure we keep some diversity in the schedule with a lot of different things. And what I mean by that is what you saw last week in NASCAR, you're not going to see next week. That seems to be our society these days. Get things mixed up, try things different. And so, I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the announcement is. We'll see if indeed it is July 4th weekend, which I've heard it is. And then we'll see where we go from there. But I would like to, I'm fine with both sticking around with us because I love it all. I love it all. I think the more variety we have in this is all good stuff. So exactly. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. So that's it. If you want to talk about that, I see some comments about there. Road America's all done. I hope they move Road America. I don't know that they're going to move it. That would take a lot of moving trucks to move Road America. Oh, no, I know what you're saying, Matthew. I know what you're saying. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Road America is a great track. And if NASCAR does go away from there, then I suggest you go up for their IndyCar weekends, their sports car weekends, because that does not make it any less of a great track. I just think it's a wonderful place, and I've loved it. That's for sure. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Let's see. Mark says, what team do you think Kyle Busch will be on next year? That's a good question, Mark. If you'd asked me before this weekend, I'd have said Joe Gibbs Racing definitively. I still think it's going to be Joe Gibbs Racing, but I don't know. listening to Coach Gibbs, and I may not have heard everything when we had this conversation. Kyle, I was standing there as part of a group media session at Talladega in April. I think it was April, maybe May. Kyle said, "Yeah, we don't have a contract signed with Joe Gibbs Racing," and everyone's kind of like, "Huh? What? Huh? What? Wait a minute, what happened?" Well, we know M&M's is going away. The next day, Bob Pockris, as he does, is Bob Pockris goes to Joe Gibbs, and Joe says, "Oh, we'll get him signed. We're just working on sponsorship." What I heard from Joe Gibbs in New Hampshire is we're working on sponsorship, and we hope to get him signed. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens. I don't really know. I think he'll end up or stay at Joe Gibbs Racing. But not that, we are in a fancy, a weird situation with silly season, because quietly we have a Stuart Haas car sitting there with no driver also. So do we have a Stuart Haas team with no driver and a Joe Gibbs Racing team with no driver? I don't know. I mean, Joe Gibbs has a few guys in the pipeline. I understand that, but I don't know. I don't really know. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens with it. I think it's fascinating what happens. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with it. So to your question on that, Mark, where does Kyle Busch end up next year? I don't know. I think it's going to be Joe Gibbs. If I'm a betting man, and I'm not, because I'm a radio guy, that means I'm broke. If I'm a betting man, I think I'm going to go with Joe Gibbs Racing. But I don't really think, but I'm not quite as confident as I was a week ago on that. So stay tuned and see what happens with it. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. So great stuff. Boy, a quiet bunch today. Yeah, not really sure what's going on here, but it's all good. Hey, it's a Tuesday in the summer. Maybe you're out sunning yourself. Maybe you're out fishing. Maybe you're driving to your next dirt track race. That's all good. And you just catch us a little bit later on. So either way, it's all good. It's great. It's great stuff. That's for sure. Cannot wait to get to Pocono this weekend. Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle. It is going to be just fantastic. And NASCAR up there once a year now. So that'll be interesting to see. Be interesting to see how the track has changed. And be interesting to see how this next gen race car goes. I think we're going to be watching gear shifts. I think we're going to be watching brakes. I think we're going to learn new stuff about fuel mileage, and we'll see what happens. Jonathan wants picks for the weekend. Picks for the weekend. Pocono, Tricky Triangle. How about this? I'm going to go way out on a limb. He's due. He's overdue. Well, no, he's not overdue. He's just due to win. Chase Elliott. Because he won Nashville. He finished second at Road America. He won Atlanta. He finished second in New Hampshire. He's due to win. Yeah, probably if I'm like taking money and putting this on it, Jonathan, I might look at Chase Elliott. Just looking at it, handicapping things, what's going on, I think we might, Cliff just asked a question. How long before we see a Petty car in victory lane? I'm not really sure that Eric Jones might not win a race here. And we'll see. Maybe he wins Pocono. Just totally upsets the apple cart more. Jones is good around there. I don't recall where it's tough to apply it to the Petty team where they're at because they've had so many changes up there. But how long before we see a Petty car in victory lane, Jeff? I think we see a Petty car. I think we see Eric Jones in victory lane before the end of the year. I just do. I don't know why I believe that. Their performance has been good. It's not been great. But so there we go. So I'm going to take Jonathan's question and Jeff's answer. Jeff, how long before we see a Petty car in victory lane? 5 days. Jonathan, how about that out on a limb? I stayed way back on the short limb with Chase Elliott, Eric Jones. Eric Jones, that's who I'll go with. Take that to Vegas, win some big money, that's for sure. AJ, I'm glad you popped in. This Saturday night, the Hampton Heat, 200 late model race at Langley Speedway. If you are in Eastern Virginia, Maryland, or North Carolina, drop everything and go there Saturday night. Drop it now. If you're farther away and inclined to do so, grab a plane, grab hotel rooms, and go. You're going to love this. If you're not available to get there, flowracing.com. NASCAR late model stock racing in the Virginias and Carolinas is as good now as it's ever been before. Corey Heim, this is part of a Triple Crown series. They had the the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 at South Boston. Corey Heim won that one. This is the second leg. It's the Hampton Heat at Langley. The third leg is the big late model stock race at Martinsville, coming up in October, I think it is. We're going up there to do the race for MRN. I can 100% promise you, AJ, that if I was not going to Pocono, I would likely be at Langley. That's how good I think of that race and that's racetrack. So I hope you go, and I hope everyone else gets to Langley and gets there and gets a chance to check out that great short track racing. So get out there and support your short tracks, that's for sure. So there you have it. Our Tuesday at 2 conversation. A little bit quiet. I'll like see Newman win before the regular Newman. Oh, an SRX. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was thinking Newman. Yeah, he ran good. They're at, I think, Sharon Speedway this week. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with SRX. We've got that on the docket. All kinds of great racing. That's what I mean. Get out and support your local racetrack. When they come to you, get out and support your local racetrack. So, fun stuff, that's for sure. And we are glad you joined us. Okay, remember, no Jonathan sales today. Your credit card, your debit card is getting a little breather. But I know what he's doing. He's been back there working in that warehouse, sniffing around, and I'm sure he's found some deals. So the next time he comes on, they're going to be doozies, and you're going to want to make sure that you get that and you get caught up with him. So Jonathan will be back with more sales, and we'll be back next week with our Tuesday at 2 conversation, wrapping up Pocono and talking about the road course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 1 round, 1 race, 1 week closer to the NASCAR playoffs. So it is going to be awesome. I appreciate everyone joining us. Appreciate the conversation with everybody. Thanks so much for spending your time with us. Thanks for joining us here. Remember, for all your diecast needs, go to www.circlebdiecast.com. I'm the Postman from MRN. We'll talk to you again next time here on our Tuesday at 2 visit.